And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how it's invented in sort of life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not doing the Lord to kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas, dealt with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a even though we did the wrong thing, my life would have been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made to fit. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Didn't to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design. Cause when you in the streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and no restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In the place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court, found in DC school. I swear it felt like I crawled on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm U.P.K, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world, and that's not right there. Thought it was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. To him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. S.H.U.P.K until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grants. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand. Gotta promote this brand. Correct all multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crowd, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty back me his hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But I was locked up in the judge put man on the shelf. And me cry cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody. Smoke one time for the most high, he made me a cut through. Cause all I ever wanted was the you gotta hold yourself, I told me. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. The decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Back on, I be ripping shit. And say I cup full, no room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't U.P.K, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah. All to my own, plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when Y.A.P.K, you tell them absolutely, and I ain't trimming my ways, but gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in there. They so smart, and Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. And I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. They about this shit I used to do, and that 98 nabbing, the tan leather world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and YAHANNA had to meet. Now I make the blind see. And I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man. Bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time. This Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Lord. Fuck it. Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain, felt pain. Ain't a lot of sorrow, got betrayed, so packs. I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road, like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, but it's guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Feel like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's busting good rent. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Just when you in hell, how did you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword, with a style that they might just record. The only thing equal is the curse for the wicked and the righteous reward. Have mercy on the many, don't see it. Separated from the tares, now on my prayers, and it's so big. A rebel, take the world by word of mouth. Y.A.P.K, we the rebels that you heard about. Yeah. Hands in the house and I'm handing verdicts out. Yeah, rank, yeah, heard a clout. Without a shadow of a doubt. These devils hitting licks office. Fuck the bank, I'm about to stole the pocket ticket office. Can't sweep talkers, cannot stop us. And plus I know the fans watch cause I tell the people that they church full of witch doctors. Put us in prison and stop violence. Meanwhile, Y.A.P.K turning rebels into rock wallers. And leave a mighty men. And now I understand things that never truly made sense. Like why I'm crying at this funeral for a criminal, knowing you ain't innocent. It's fucked up. But my boo shot, standing between two of love. Look out for niggas just cuz and wouldn't touch a white bitch with OJ's black gloves. Father, forgive me for my error. I'm forever by your side, clean and perfect of all my flaws. This the reason I'm alive. Thank God for this truth. Cause for a long time I was a rebel without a cause. Look, man, first time I'm making planet J, YAHANNA, man, hit 3807. Rebel without a cause. My little daughter with me. Open the door, he was dropping the truth on me and all that. Rebel without a cause. Man, you know, you do your time, we taking the mountains, training to hand-to-hand combat. Rebel without a cause. It's the reason I'm alive. Thank God for this truth, cause for a long time I was a rebel without a cause. You cannot hook us. We're already dead. We're already beaten down. We've been beaten down for 400 years. We already got wounds inside and outside our body. How you gonna hurt us? You cannot threaten us. You cannot frighten us. We live in the most frightening places, under the most frightening conditions. We are immune to fear. We are immune to harm. You see what I'm saying? You have stepped into a cesspool. You're the only one gonna get infected.
SHALAM, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Come on, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command Joe YAHANNA. Since 1969, we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians our true identity according to the Bible, which is the 12 tribes of Israel and the only people that the God of this book right here, the Holy Bible, gives a damn about. No matter what it is they sit there and teach in the Christian church or promote in America, this book here, the Bible, says differently. And of course, that our oppressor, the same put us into slavery, is nothing more than the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? Today we're going to be getting into how it is that the Christian church comes against the Most High God. You understand how it is that these people sit there and promote loving America more than loving the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave to us as a nation. So we're going to go ahead and start in the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 9. Give you a second to get there.
Spewing out of it.
All right, we're going to get into it. Book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 9. How long wilt thou sleep, You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is asking, how long is it that the nation of Israel will sleep? How long is it that we will sit there and deny right and deny the blessings that it is that the Lord gave to us as a nation? Saying we've been sleeping since way before we were enslaved by Americans. Like I'm saying, even up until today, no matter how much our people like to sit there and believe we're enlightened and we got all of this knowledge that is secretly tucked away, just waiting to be tapped into, he said we are asleep as a people. He said it doesn't matter, if you believe in Christianity, Islam, Pan-Africanism, spirituality, or whatever other wacky, ideas and philosophies that there are out there that a lot of our people believe in. We are asleep in these lands, which is why so many of us are still destroyed as we are. So we like to sit there and believe, oh, well, the black man and woman is God. Well, if that's the case, why are we not out of the oppression that we've been suffering from for over 400 years? See, why is it that we're still being gunned down in the streets? Why is it that we're still suffering from drug addiction? See, why are we still being mass imprisoned? Why is it that this virus is still, destroying our communities at a rapid rate? It's because we are asleep in these lands. Because we'd much rather sit there and follow after the Christian church, who ultimately promotes all these different ideas, that we believe in as a nation. Oh, sluggard. Those of us that don't know, a sluggard is ultimately somebody that is lazy. I'm saying, so in in the land of America, we have grown, just lazy as hell in these lands. I'm saying we don't want to sit there and follow after what it is that the Lord told us to do. We don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Instead we want to sit there and get high, saying get drunk, be drug dealers, women instead of being wives. I'm saying you choose to be a whore. Saying, and the list just goes on and on. I'm saying all these different things that the Christian church sits there and promotes amongst our communities. Those are what we'd much rather follow. Because the church don't teach the truth about this Bible right here, about this book. If Israel is to know, then we wouldn't have been suffering for as long as we have been. Saying Christianity was introduced to us when we were slaves. Saying back when we were in chains and our oppressor was beating our backs. Saying if the Christian church really taught the true words of the Lord, then we wouldn't have to worry about any of that. The kingdom of heaven would have been in place for hundreds of years. But because they do not teach the truth of this book, the Holy Bible, our people, we are, asleep in these lands, just following after whatever it is that our oppressor, sits there and okays or nays. And our oppressor sits there and he, promotes being a goddamn drug addict, getting high, I'm saying, with all his legal, marijuana stores, the different medical or, medical cannabis joints that he's built up, the billion-dollar industry that he's built, sitting there and furthering the destruction of our people. When the Lord tells us not to get high, not to indulge in, cannabis, and no matter what it is, unless you actually got a medical condition that requires it. So our oppressor sits there and he promotes, hating your brothers, hating your sisters, going on and committing a drive-by or robbing your brother or sister, which we can see every day on the news. Yes, I saw an article earlier later last week that talked about how, we were out there doing some drive-by shootings, out there robbing one another. You saying that is not what the Lord intended for the nation of Israel. It's never what he intended for us, but it's what our oppressor has intended, and it's what he has promoted amongst our communities and amongst our nation. Is nothing but hatred for our own. When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? And so our oppressor, he sits there and he promotes killing one another, saying being a drug addict, women being whores. He's saying, but the Lord is asking, when is it that we will awake? When is it that we will stop doing these wicked and disgusting things? You saying the Christian church, they don't sit there and teach our people. I'm saying this, not only the scriptures throughout this entire Bible, but even this scripture alone. You're saying they are going to do everything they can to ensure that the nation of Israel does not wake up from what it is that we are doing. Things if they did so, then we wouldn't have to worry about our people sitting there getting sick and dying from COVID-19. Saying we wouldn't have to worry about, all of these robberies that are going on with, this coronavirus that's shutting everything down. We don't have to worry about all that. And there's only one organization, one school that is teaching that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, are to truly wake up. And that is the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. So we like to sit there and say, hey, it doesn't matter which nation it is, we follow. I'm saying those of us in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, I'm saying we've arose out of this sleep that it is that our nation has been in for over 400 years. I'm saying we understand what it is that is expected of us as a nation. So not a whole lot of us can sit there and say that. Not a whole lot of us accept who it is that we are as a people. Because for the most part, us as a whole, we reject who it is that we are. Try to fight it all so we can save our oppressor and cling to his disgusting ways. So we're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 14. Give you a second to get there. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, and verse 14. Is Israel a servant? So the scripture is asking, are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians servants? You see, with this virus that is going on inside of the land of America, and with all of our different, slavery sitting there and shutting down, and blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians just suffering so terribly due to America's economy collapsing and failing them. And due to the Christian church sitting there and trying to tell the nation of Israel to give all of their stimulus checks to the church, saying every single drop of it, saying not want us to keep a single cent of it. You're saying, are we servants as a people? Or sit there and to serve all of the different establishments of our enemy? And whether it is the government themselves, whether it's making sure that the economy stays afloat. Because with Trump, states themselves can open up after May 1st, depending on the governor. You understand? All that is just a ploy to get all of these stimulus checks that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians received from the government. You're saying because these people, they realize we're going to spend more than that. You understand? We got 1,200. I'm saying Israel mess around, sit there, spend, 3,000. You understand? 3,500. And our oppressor, he knows this. He knows that his, servant is going to sit there and spend as much money as they can to help out America's economy, to help them stay afloat. And not only do they know this, but we're sitting there and we are, we are solidifying their ideas of us. We got all across America these different stores that sat there and restocked on, different electronics like big screen TVs, game systems, laptops, things of that nature. And we completely, bought them out like it was Black Friday with them stimulus checks that we got. And so just imagine if they sat there and they opened up, not only the whole country, but just a couple of states. America's main servant is going to ensure that they stay afloat and bolster their economy so that it is that they won't collapse. Is he a homeborn slave? So is the nation of Israel, are we homeborn slaves? Because it's nothing new that we were obviously slaves during the transatlantic slave trade. Slaves back when Columbus sat there and invaded our lands and put us into chains. And that is something that has been, passed down through the generations to ensure that America always has a slave. It ensures that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians will always serve America no matter what it is that they need. Whether they need soldiers for war, because blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we have fought and died in a plethora of wars, of battles, of altercations with other nations that we have no business sitting there and, intervening with. Even up until today. World War III is on the brink, and we got a surge in blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians joining the U.S. military. And there's a reason that our oppressor always sits there and promotes his fighting forces in our ghettos, in the reservations, in the barrios. And there's a reason for all things. But for some reason, we're the only nation does not recognize this. The sooner that us as a people, that we can recognize that, just like we were used for this is just for the military alone, Slovakia. You understand? As soon as we realize that we were always used as, a number, or I guess you'd say us in the truth, a blessing towards our enemies. Because even when we were slaves, we'd always boast the militaries of our enemies. When it was fighting war, they would always have all these different regiments of slaves that were never treated the same as a white regiment. People that were punished just like a regular slave out in the world that did not give their lives for America. And even after we gave our lives, we were not, properly honored by the country that we sacrificed ourselves for. Just like we did that, we do the same thing today. Just like why, so many veterans can come back into everyday life and, simply be gunned down by a police officer in the world, be thrown into jails or prisons and left there to rot and to suffer. But yet we don't see that as, a dishonor. We don't see that as us being slaves to America. And we're slaves because them same veterans that have had that done to them, that have been profiled and beaten and having all types of unspeakable things done to them and their families, they still promote loving America above anything else. So just like, we got all these promotions going on in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that has to do with the nation of Israel sitting there and promoting loving America within our own communities and households. Otherwise, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians would have no other reason to join the U.S. military. Why you see so many, so-called natives out in New Mexico sitting there and being recruited for the U.S. military, sitting there making all types of, social media videos, giving their, blessings and dancing to their gods to ensure that, America can come back from this coronavirus. And that's because we have been taught to love America. Because we have been taught Christianity and to hate our own. When this Bible right here, it does not tell us to sit there and pray and to try to give all of our blessings to a heathen nation, a nation outside of the nation of Israel. But with us being homeborn slaves, we know nothing more but to sit there and to love America, to ensure that she survives through all of her hardships. Slacky. Why is he spoiled? So why is it that the nation of Israel is spoiled? Why is it they can sit there and, murder us, take our goods, sit there and, recruit us as slaves and as military, amongst a plethora of other things? Why is it that this nation can do this to the nation of Israel? The Lord's chosen people. And simply it's because we put too much faith not only into America, but into the Christian church itself. No matter how many of us like to sit there and say, "Oh, well, Christianity is a lie. It's the white man's book. It's this or that." You understand? So many of us, we still love the nation of our oppressors. We still love our oppressor, no matter what it is that he does to us. You understand? It's really it's something as simple as believing in the lies that our oppressor has taught us throughout the generations. I'm saying one of which, and the biggest thing that there is Christianity. And you can look up all these different shows that they put on TV, on Netflix, Hulu, goddamn it, Disney Plus, and any other thing that there is that you watch out there. And you can see the nature of our oppressor. You can see how he sits there and he lies to us. How is it he deceives people so that they can play into his hands? You say, don't think that we are anything different. So we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 14. Give you a second to get there. Oh, Salaki. Ephesians 5 and 14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest. And so the Lord is saying, I'm saying for the nation of Israel to wake up. I'm saying all of us out here in the land of America that are simply believing in all the lies, simply sitting there and indulging in all of these, stimulus checks or Trump checks that it is that, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians have received. Because so many of us, with these checks that have been sent out, we are so goddamn destroyed and brainwashed that we let $1,200, if that. I'm saying because there's some people getting a little more, some people getting a little less, depending on what it is that the government wants to give us. But because we are so destroyed as a nation, we let that sit there and simply buy our loyalty. You see, in the same Christian church that has lied to us for 400 plus years and promoted the lies of America and the lies of our oppressor, our slave master. I'm saying these same people demanding what it is that we have comes into their pockets. He's saying we simply put all of our faith into them. He's saying we simply follow it in the most ridiculous ways possible, as long as it means, that we can simply indulge in these selfish and disgusting ways that America promotes amongst our people. He's saying before the stimulus check, we were believing in Africans over there. And we were believing that, as long as we can go back to the land of Africa, shoot, we'd be cool. I'm saying we'll prosper, we'll live. I'm saying we'll be perfectly fine. Sure, I'm sure a whole bunch of us took our stimulus checks over there to Africa, thinking that we can, be one with them goddamn Hamites. You see, well, that's not something that the Lord intended for us as a nation. I'm gonna read that from the top for you. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest. For those of us that's out there and try to run the Africans, try to run to the U.S. government, thinking that they're going to help us get out of this predicament that it is that we've, basically put ourselves in, because we'd much rather follow after the ways of a heathen than follow after the ways of America. You know what I'm saying? So we think that, run to these other nations, you know what I'm saying, thinking that they're going to help us. We are truly asleep as a people. America has never helped Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? They've never ensured that we get out of the oppression that we are in. No goddamn African has ever ensured that we are not oppressed by not only them, but any other nation. So that is just some fantasy that is in our heads. I'm saying that it's a goddamn daydream. You understand? Something that you just fathom would happen when there's no chance in hell that it would. And that's not only with these people, it's with, these same nations that have spread this coronavirus from their disgusting countries. So the Chinese brought the coronavirus over here to the land of America. And yet we're sitting there still wanting to give all of our business to these people, still wanting to go into their restaurants, their hair salons, you understand, their nail salons. You understand? That just goes to show you how asleep we are as a nation. You saying how important it is for us to wake up as a people if we want to ensure that we are not destroyed with these other nations. You understand? You leave it up to the nation of Israel, shoot, we'll be oppressed and enslaved for more than another 400 years. And arise from the dead. You understand? So Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians is where out here getting high. You understand? Believing in all of these different, ideals and philosophies, putting our faith in the Christian church and into America. You understand? All of us out here, except for us in the I.S.U.P.K, obviously, we are dead inside these lands. Saying we're just sitting there wandering around like some goddamn zombie without a true purpose in the land of America. See, when the Lord let us know that our purpose is to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, is to serve him with all that we got, no matter what. But because the Christian church has lied to us for so long and, has kept up that lie no matter what, you understand, we do not know what it is that our purpose is in these lands. I'm saying we weren't taught that Christ did not do what he was murdered by our oppressor. I'm saying we are not taught the true meaning of these scriptures, because if we were, then we wouldn't be in the condition that we are today in the land of America. And Christ shall give thee life. And so that's not saying, Christ is going to sit there and give us grace with his death to ensure that we can be a bunch of sinful and wicked bastards. You're saying it's not sitting there and saying we can do as we please as a nation. You know, saying the light that it is talking about is that light, that knowledge of knowing, that we're supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand that knowledge of knowing that Christ died so that we could be shown mercy in the eyes of the Lord. So, but in order to be shown that mercy, you got to learn to follow this book right here, follow this Bible, which the Christian church is not going to teach our people to do so. If anything, it's going to teach us to simply, they're going to teach the same thing they have been doing for, 400 years, 400 plus years, like it. Saying which is to not give a damn about what is in this book right here. Because if that was the case, we'd be focusing more on scriptures and what is expected of us than to be focusing on singing. Saying focusing on filling that pastor's pockets and be following in all the different disgusting ways of America that come against the Lord. You see, but eventually we'll learn as a people. You're saying sooner rather than later, especially with World War III on the brink. So we can sit there, we can believe in America all that we want, believe in all her ways, believe in Christianity, the Christian God, which is nothing more than a lie. So we can believe in all these things, but at the end of the day, the Lord is still going to deliver his judgment. It's in his wrath upon the earth. And you can either, be in his good graces and be shown mercy, or you can be punished with the rest of these nations. Sin. So we're going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So that's why, so many of our people in the world sit there and are confused about how it is that the UPK, is. How is it the men and women act inside this organization? Because we recognize that our people are oppressed every goddamn day, that we are murdered, saying that we are lied to, slack here, saying that it is that all these different lies are pushed onto our nation, knowing that it's going to do nothing but destroy us further and further. So when you've been raised in the Christian church and raised to love America, you do not view what it is that's going on in our communities as oppression. So you can look on social media every day, and you can see a handful of, the nation of Israel sitting there and, simply saying how it is our own faults that we are destroyed in these lands, saying that it's as simple as simply moving on, as simple as, changing your mentality on things, saying when you got to be taught to do these things, saying you got to be taught to love your brothers and sisters, the same people same people that you've been taught to hate since you've been squeezed out the womb. Saying you got to be taught all of these different again in order for us to prosper as a nation. But because America is the one teaching us, saying because we've been raised in the Christian church, which is nothing more than white supremacy, I'm saying we are taught to do nothing more than hate our own. I'm saying to ignore the oppression that it is that we go through on a daily basis, all because we are worried about ourselves as compared to our brothers, as compared to our own nation. When that is not what the Lord intended for us as a people. Saying if us as a people, if we can't recognize by now, saying with it being, like 2020, saying if we can't recognize that Christianity is white supremacy and something that does not help but to destroy our own communities, then we are truly asleep. You know what I'm saying? We are in a deep goddamn slumber as a nation. And that's not only Christianity, but that is every single belief system out there besides this truth right here. You're saying Islam does not help the black community. So we already know Christianity doesn't. Pan-Africanism does not help the black community. Spirituality does not help the black community. And saying whatever other, heathen ideal we believe in, whether it's an ideal of a Mongoloid, another African, so on and so forth, believing in what these different nations believe in, it has never and will never help blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But you know what will? You know what has never failed the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? That is the truth of this Bible right here. Knowing the truth of who it is that we are as a people and what is expected of us. You understand? What is in here has never let us down as a nation. You understand? Whether we were slaves sneaking off to caves to learn what it is, it's like that the Lord, intended for us to learn, or whether it has been since 1969 and the I.S.U.P.K teaching our nation to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? I.S.U.P.K has been doing nothing but build the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities since 1969. On 51 years, and we will not stop building our communities until the kingdom of heaven is put into place and we are no longer oppressed. Oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So all these stimulus checks that was sent out to all the, niggas in the ghettos, I'm saying, and the savages in the reservations, I'm saying, and the some wetbacks or beaners and the barrios, however it is our oppressor wants to sit there and how it is we view our own nation. I'm saying, no matter how many of them checks went out, I'm saying that is doing nothing more than destroy the nation of Israel, than destroy our own communities. Because, let's face it, I'm saying, due to the way that we've been brought up in these lands, we are taught to do nothing more than to cherish materialistic things, to be greedy, and to care about ourselves. You know, saying that $1,200, that measly Salakia, $1,200 was, the type of gifts that this scripture is talking about. You're saying we're so goddamn destroyed that we'll simply go out and rob and murder for that amount of money. Shoot, we'll do that for less. So that just goes to show how, brainwashed we are as a nation. You're saying we would take out our own and sacrifice our own lives for some goddamn money. And that's money alone. That's not talking about, not only stimulus check, as well as, taxes, money that we've earned as a nation through our hard work and labor. You understand? But that also goes into, what we were given as slaves way back then. Something to help us, I guess you could say, cope with what it was that we were going through as slaves, as a nation oppressed by a vile and wicked nation of people, saying which is Christianity, which we can do plenty of research on, and you can find a plethora of research of our slave masters giving us Christianity. I'm saying not giving us, this truth right here, but giving us Christianity. I'm saying belief in a white God, a white Jesus. I'm saying a white ideal that promotes, loving and ensuring that our oppressor prospers more than our own nation. You understand? That is what we were given as a people. So like, we're going to go to Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. Need one more second to get there. Book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that, knowing the time, so many of us in the land of America, you know what I'm saying, really throughout, the whole earth, we like to sit there and point out, what time it is, it's like what year it is in the earth. So we like to sit there and say, oh, well, it is 2020. It's 2017, 2015, 2011, whatever nonsense it is that we sit there and spew out of our mouths, thinking that because the time has changed, that the people have changed, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. So we like to sit there and say, oh, well, it's 2020. Times have changed. You understand? There's no more, racism anymore. Even if there is, it's very rare. I'm saying we got equality amongst people, amongst genders, this, that, and the third, and all this other nonsense and garbage. You say, but with us knowing what time it is, knowing that it is 2020, saying knowing that war is on the brink, it's like saying World War III coming. You know what I'm saying? We should know that it is time for us as a nation. So we like to say, just because it's 2020 or 2019, 2018, whatever goddamn time period it is or that it was, and we like to think that we are woke as a nation. So we like to think that we have the truth as whether it's individual or as a people, when in reality, if you are not in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, then you do not have a lick of the truth. You see, we as a nation, we do not have any type of understanding. Because if we did, then we would not be saying these things. We would not sit there and say, oh, well, it's 2020. Times have changed. You see, because if that was the case, see, we'd be more vested in this truth as a nation and not worried about all the different ideals and philosophies that we've learned from our oppressor in these different nations. And that even goes for, not only Christians, but those into spirituality and other types of nonsense. Because Christians are the biggest ones that like to sit there and point out what year it is, thinking that just because, a year has passed, that things are all of a sudden different, that the spirits of people are different, the ideals and philosophies. You see, the scriptures say that nothing is new under the sun. So just like our oppressor has always been a racist and wicked bastard, he will always be a wicked and racist bastard. You see, and just like our people are, deceived and confused about, different beliefs and philosophies to believe in, until we learn this truth right here, we will always be deceived and confused. And especially those of us that are out here getting high in the streets. You're saying a lot of us in the UPK, we were once, one of you, we were once always sitting there getting high, allowing for ourselves to, give in to what it is that America promotes. You saying, but once we heard the truth, we became awake. And we knew that it was time for us as a nation to wake up. You saying, for us to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord intended for us as a people. So only those of us in the I.S.U.P.K can sit there and say something that is as simple as that. saying otherwise you are asleep. You are still a goddamn slave to our oppressor and to your own emotions. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. So Christians like to sit there and simply say, oh, well, the rapture, it'll come at this time, that time. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when it is that it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? Salvation for the nation of Israel is a lot closer than we think as a people. So all you got to do is simply keep up with current events. You're saying keep up with all of, the earthquakes that are going on, all the plagues, all the talks of war, that have been, going on. And you can see when it is our salvation, will be here. You see, in I.S.U.P.K, we are taught to keep up with current events, to study these things so that we know, how to properly how to properly prepare ourselves, for when these events arise. You understand? So in U.P.K, we know, what I'm saying, about certain acts that are committed that can bring about war. I'm saying we don't just look at them like something that is to be brushed off and will be forgotten over a certain period of time, or to look at, the might of America and assume that nobody can beat them. And just like so many of our people did back when the top Iranian general was murdered in an airstrike by the U.S. and Iran was sitting there talking of war, and our people brushed it off like, shoot, ain't nobody want to smoke with us, with America. Ain't nobody want that. So when the U.P.K, we understand that these are different chess pieces that are put into place for war to pop off. Saying recently, Trump sat there and he talked about, taking no prisoners from the Iranians. I'm saying ensuring that they are all killed. I'm saying so that goes to show you that relations between us has not healed, has not gotten any better. I'm saying before you know it, there's going to be a full-fledged battle in Iran against the government. You're saying it's going to be a full-out war against these people, and then other nations are going to join in. I'm saying before we know it, there'll be a full-fledged World War III sitting there and popping off. I'm saying something that none of us expected because we got so much faith in America. You're saying it's not only war, but that's got to go, with what's going on with this coronavirus, COVID-19. Saying something that has absolutely brought America to its knees, and which plays a role in the plans of the Lord. I'm saying not only COVID-19, but you already got, experts in America sitting there and expressing their fears of the second wave or the second generation of, the COVID-19 virus. I'm saying that just goes to show you how close it is for our salvation, for us to no longer be slaves up under America, to be oppressed by America. Saying whether we accept it, believe it, understand it, or not, the Lord is going to ensure that we are no longer slaves to these goddamn people, to this disgusting nation and all of these other disgusting nations throughout the face of this earth. So you gotta have a little patience, say a little faith. So we're gonna go to the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Slaki. Come on, verse 10. Give you a second to get there. Book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. And so blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, us as a people, not just as, individuals, as separate tribes. I'm saying, but us as a nation, all 12 tribes, we have got, to rise up, to learn what it is that is expected of us as a nation, to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because we're not supposed to be resting in the land of America. We're not supposed to be content with the oppression that we go through inside these lands. We're supposed to be studying these scriptures. There should be millions upon millions of soldiers in the I.S.U.P.K under Command General YAHANNA. The whole nation of Israel should be inside this army, because we are not to simply rest in the land of America. We're not to rest in South America, North America. We still got a duty as a nation to uphold, and we have not fulfilled said duty. For this is not your rest, because it is polluted. Land of America, South America, North America, islands, all these different lands and territories are polluted. They got all of our oppressors, ideals pumping through them and being promoted. All the different homosexuality that is spread amongst our nations. For sure, all of the drug addiction and selling all these different drugs is without a doubt promoted amongst our people. The murder and hating of your own brothers is promoted amongst our people inside of these lands. Growing up inside the land of America, you are, your mind is ultimately polluted. Poisoned. It shall destroy you. Without a doubt. You can look at South America, at these independent, countries, Spanish-speaking countries. You can look in inside of, Central America or United States, at, the individuals and these sovereign nations. You can look into North America, into the sovereign nations, and you can see all the different aspects where we are all destroyed the same type of way. You know what I'm saying? Just like we're being, lied to and murdered, and, having different drugs and philosophies and, ideals pumped into our communities, down South America. The same thing is happening in Central and Northern America. You know, Christianity is a big factor that plays into our destructions of people. Is that me personally, I slave with hella Hispanic brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brothers from Mexico, Honduras, Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? All these different, tribes in South America. And they all personally express their love and their ideals, for America, and that they've gotten from America that comes against the countries that it is that they've came from, that comes against their brothers that are afflicted and suffering at the hands of America. And that alone goes to show you how destroyed we are as a people. Where you can come from a different land and simply be taught the ways of America, and you absolutely hate your brothers. And so-called Native Indians, the same people that have been oppressed for 400 years since Columbus arrived in 1492. So, like, same people that were assimilated alongside one another into America society. You know what I'm saying? They all, talk about these different it's like, not necessarily talk about, but believe in all these different ideals that come against their own culture and their own people. And the same thing has to go for so-called blacks. I'm saying that just goes to show that we are one nation of that are all oppressed and destroyed in the same type of way. Even with a sword destruction. For all of us that sit there and we still believe in America, which is a hell of a lot of us. I know a hell of a lot of Hispanic brothers and a hell of a lot of, Judite brothers in my slave that still, believe in America wholeheartedly. Brothers in the school know plenty of the nation of Israel that does the same. You understand? Family members, friends. You say, but when America sits there and they turn their back on you and do what it is that they can to destroy you even further than they already have, saying we're going to be feeling a sore destruction. No matter how much it is that, Christianity promotes, the love that America has for us, the love that they have, promoted for, it's like the love they've encouraged for us to have as a people for America. I'm saying, even with these things, America is still going to eventually turn her back on us. It's still going to ensure, that we suffer at her hands, all because she can. I'm saying, because she don't give a good goddamn about the nation of Israel, about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Especially those of us that are hardcore Christians, it is going to be a hell of a rude awakening for you. You understand? Once it is our oppressor starts going out and hunting us like he has in the past, going out and lynching brothers and sisters, all because he can. Meanwhile, the love that you have developed for him is not doing a goddamn thing for you. So but we're going to go ahead and go to the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2. Give you a second to get there. Chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world. So just like the Christian church teaches, for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to simply follow the ways of America. You stand to not, give a damn about the laws, statutes, and commandments that we were given as a people, and to simply, look at this nation being one blessed by the Lord. I'm saying, just like, America likes to say, like one nation under God. I'm saying, like to talk about all the blessings that the Lord has given this nation. I'm saying the Christian church might teach these type of things, but at the end of the day, no matter how much it is that you think the Lord blesses these people, whether it is, how long it is that they've been in power, whether it's the drugs that is going on inside these lands, the homosexuality, the, whores and transgenderism, and all these different type of beliefs that come against the Bible. I'm saying all these different beliefs that the Christian church promotes. I'm saying they're trying to teach us to, conform or to be acceptable of all these different ideals, like in the world. So meanwhile, this book, the Holy Bible, does not teach the nation of Israel to be drug addicts. to be drug dealers, whores, homosexuals, saying liars and thieves. It does not teach for us to believe that Christ did away with the law, so we're cool and we can do as we please. This book does not teach that. But instead it teaches us to follow in the ways that the Lord intended for us to. You understand? Nothing more. I'm going to read that from the top for you. Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world. You understand? So this world sits there and believes in, materialistic things and believes in, financial gains more than anything, more than it does in the Lord. You understand? We're not supposed to be sitting there and being accepting and simply following these ways, all because it profits us as a individual. So not even as a nation, but as an individual. So many of us out here getting these measly stimulus checks or Trump checks, as you will. You understand? Sitting there and forgetting about, what is supposed to be, morals amongst ourselves. Because once you get that Trump check or stimulus check, you say to hell with, sitting there and getting high. Worrying about this coronavirus. You say to hell with worrying about my brother or my sister, suffering alongside me. You say to hell with, all the different conspiracies that it is that you've believed in and tried to steer people away from, such as, like 5G. Once these checks came out, them 5G conspiracies, they completely disappeared. And they ain't trying to steer blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians away from, 5G, away from getting all these different devices that's, 5G. Even though we do not believe in that nonsense in the I.S.U.P.K. That just goes to show you the lack of morality, lack of standards and integrity that America promotes in its society, that you can believe slightly, that you can simply do away with something that you've believed for, years upon years, all over a goddamn check. You know what I'm saying? You can sit there and not believe in being a goddamn thief, but once that other person's stimulus check hits, you understand, your point of view completely changes. So I saw a video on social media, this sister sitting there flaunting her measly $1,200, something that is not shit, slacking my language. She's sitting in her car, sitting there thumbing through the bills, singing a little song, and then a nigger reaches in her window, snatches all that, and dips off. You understand? That is the type of things that America promotes in society, is to be a thief, is to be a murderer. You understand? Someone that is not solid in their beliefs, is to lack integrity. That's what America promotes amongst the nation of Israel. No matter what it is your beliefs are. See, which is why in I.S.U.P.K, under Commander YAHANNA, with the hardships that this virus has brought, with this, measly $1,200 that was given damn near everybody, it has not wavered our integrity, our beliefs. You understand? We still keep our way of life. We still give our tithes out of that $1,200, out of the last check that it was that we got from our slave. He's saying, because it is what the Lord demands of us as a nation. So like, that ye may prove, Slakia, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect of God. So if we sit there and we be, transformed from the way of life, when it comes to the land of America, to the ways of the world, he's saying we can sit there and we can show what is considered, good, you know what I'm saying, or, what is considered acceptable in the eyes of the Lord. I'm saying, which is simply to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And when you do so, you understand what is laid out in this book right here it's truly perfect. And so you sit there, you believe in the ways of America. And saying in all her ways, you believe in the philosophies, the ideals, their culture and their customs, their religions, whatever it is that you want to believe in. Saying those things are not good in the eyes of the Lord. They are not considered perfect, and they are not going to prosper the nation of Israel in any type of way possible. But when you start looking at these laws, statutes, and commandments, shoot, they are perfect in the eyes of the Lord. So you stop being a goddamn drug addict. You stop sitting there and selling drugs to our own communities. Stop being a thief, a murderer, a liar. Stop believing in the false gods of our oppressors. You understand? These things are perfect because it will ensure that the nation of Israel can come up out of the ashes. You're saying it will ensure that we are no longer destroyed in the land of America, but all of the lands of our enemies. We're going to go ahead and get into Slakia. There's going to be a lot of scripture, actually. So we're gonna get through, we're gonna rush through it a little bit. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. So this is Moses sitting there teaching the nation of Israel in the statutes and the judgments that the Lord gave to the nation of Israel. Saying this is something that a true leader of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should be doing, but because of the way we've been brought up in these lands, we're simply taught the way of our oppressor, which completely contradicts what it is that the Lord has intended for us as a nation. Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. So no matter what land it is the nation of Israel dwells in, we are to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave to us as a nation. So you can be in the land of America and our oppressor can sit there and lie to us all that he wants to, and talking about, oh, well, Christ, he did away with the laws. You understand? Well, we're under grace. We ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? This or that. You understand? The Lord said, no matter what land it is that we go to, you know what I'm saying? No matter what land it is that we dwell in, that we possess, we are to keep what it is that he gave us as a nation. You see, and that goes for any point in time. You understand? Whether it is, 2020, whether it is that we have fallen upon hardships in these lands, we are supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You saying we are to not do so. You know what I'm saying? It's like I shouldn't even say that. You know what I'm saying? We should much rather truly face death than to not keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. So you should much rather be a corpse than be a coward. Which if you come into I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, you will be taught how to be a man of valor. You understand? A man that has integrity and that loves his people so goddamn much and fears the Lord so goddamn much that you would much rather be a corpse than to be a coward, than to be a sellout. Someone that simply turns on his people because his own life or well-being or way of life was put into jeopardy. You're saying that's something that, the Christian church alone is not going to teach our people, because the Christian church teaches us to simply cave in, to give in to what it is that not only our oppressor needs, but all these other nations and individuals need. I'm saying we're taught to have no morals, no integrity. You're saying no way of life that it is we are to preserve. So we're going to go ahead and get into the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We at I.S.U.P.K start at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 month There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Mayashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. It's a free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The next upcoming holy convocation is the Lord's 51st annual Passover. It was supposed to be on April 9th, but due to the plagues that the Lord has unleashed upon the earth, it was pushed back 1 month with the date to be decided. I'm going to go ahead and give you the location for the Passover. Give me 1 second. Bobak Shah. So the 51st annual Passover of the Lord is at the Westchester County Center, 198th Central Avenue, White Plains, New York. with the zip code 10606. Saying where all groups that have branched off from the I.S.U.P.K are ordered by Commanding General YAHANNA to return to the home of the truth. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or a war scarf. So if you got any questions, if you are in the state of state of New Mexico, saying call 765-461-2944. So we're gonna Imajim, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're gonna start out with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Avanawu, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahawu, Malakwaha, Taba'a, Ratazaika, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawu, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanawu, Kabawathanawu, Kasalakanawu, Kabawathayanawu, Wala'a, Tabayayinawu, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashayinawu, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wadaparath, La'awalamyam, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. The prayer for the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babakashah, Nathanawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Kal Makalah, or Kal Marawah, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamathim, Hakak, Arakawath, Hatama'ala, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the water Aman. The prayer for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahushai, Wam Yaka'ala, Wala'ayim, Matazabiyah, Alawap Yahanna, Ha'awapium, Hazaranyam, Hakwatazayanyam, Hakayayayam, Wahakwathian, Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, the water Aman. The prayer for the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen that speak against the prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift death to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and destroy. Cause the terrorists to come against America and destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hands of the terrorists. The Yahushai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and kill all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. Always, so be it. Sar, which means turn. We're going to give a courteous salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. There's a matah. Going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Shamar Al Dan Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Class is, it's like, Yazmatah. Class is missed.